What if helping the planet wasn't about huge sacrifices, but about small actions hiding in plain sight? Most people already know the basics: recycle, use less plastic, and turn off the lights. But there are lesser-known choices that can genuinely reduce your environmental impact, and many of them save money, improve health, and strengthen the world around you at the same time. Here are 8 powerful things you may never have considered doing. Most people think recycling more is the answer, but one of the biggest problems is actually wish cycling, throwing items into recycling bins hoping they'll be recycled. Pizza boxes with grease, coffee cups lined with plastic film wrapping. When the wrong materials enter recycling streams, entire loads can become contaminated and sent to landfill. One of the most impactful things you can do is learn the 5 or 6 materials your local system actually accepts and recycle cleaner, not just more. Better recycling means less landfill waste, less energy used processing contamination, and more materials genuinely reused instead of discarded. People focus on bottles and bags, but some of the worst waste comes from tiny everyday packaging most people never question. Fruit wrapped in plastic, mini toiletry bottles, individually wrapped snacks, disposable condiment packets. These small plastics are incredibly difficult to recycle and often become litter or microplastics. A surprisingly powerful habit is simply refusing unnecessary small packaging whenever possible. Try to buy loose produce, carry your own containers, or choose to use refill stations. When millions of people avoid the tiny plastics, companies notice because packaging follows consumer behaviour. And less packaging means less waste, less transport weight, and less pollution before products even reach your home. Now here's something many people never realise. Some devices use electricity all day, even when switched off. Game consoles, microwaves, coffee machines, televisions, chargers left plugged in. This is called phantom energy or standby power. Individually, it seems small. Collectively, it's enormous. Using smart plugs or switching devices fully off can reduce unnecessary energy consumption every single day without changing your lifestyle at all. Lower energy demand means fewer fossil fuels will be burnt, lower emissions, and lower electricity bills. Invisible waste is still waste. Most people think saving water means taking shorter showers, and that helps. But one of the biggest hidden water uses is actually food production, especially beef and heavily processed foods. A single kilogram of beef can require thousands of litres of water to produce. You don't have to become vegetarian overnight, but even replacing 1 or 2 meat-heavy meals each week with plant-based alternatives can dramatically reduce your hidden water footprint. You save water not just in your home, but across entire agricultural systems. One of the largest sources of ocean microplastic pollution isn't straws, it's synthetic clothing. Every time fleece, polyester or nylon clothes are washed, plastic fibres enter waterways and eventually oceans. Most people never think about this. Washing clothes only when genuinely necessary, using colder cycles, and using microfiber catching laundry bags or filters can massively reduce this hidden pollution. Cleaner waterways protect marine life, reduce toxins in food chains, and help preserve ocean ecosystems future generations will depend on. People often think conservation happens somewhere far away, in rainforests or national parks, but biodiversity can begin in your garden, balcony, or even a windowsill. One of the most effective things you can do is allow small areas to grow naturally. Leave a patch of grass for longer, plant native flowers, avoid excessive pesticides, and create spaces insects can survive. Perfectly tidying spaces are often ecological deserts, but even tiny wild spaces support pollinators, birds, and insects that entire ecosystems rely upon. Sometimes helping nature means interfering less. Palm oil itself isn't evil. The problem is unsustainable palm oil production linked to rainforest destruction and habitat loss for species like orangutans, elephants and tigers. What many people don't realise is how often palm oil hides inside everyday products like soap, chocolate, shampoo, biscuits and cosmetics. One small but powerful habit is checking for sustainably sourced palm oil certifications or choosing rainforest-friendly alternatives when you can. Consumer pressure has already forced major companies to improve sourcing. Every purchase quietly votes for the kind of world we create. One of the most overlooked environmental actions also improves your health immediately, replacing very short car journeys with walking or cycling. Cold engines are less fuel efficient. Short trips create disproportionate emissions, and many journeys under 2 miles could realistically be walked. This reduces air pollution, lowers emissions, cuts traffic, improves fitness, and strengthens mental well-being at the same time. It's one action with environmental and personal benefits happening together, and that's the future we should aim for, a healthier planet that also creates healthier people. The truth is, environmental change doesn't only come from governments or giant corporations. It comes from millions of ordinary people making slightly better decisions every day. Not perfection, not guilt, not fear, just awareness, because small actions become powerful when enough people choose them together. And sometimes the changes we never considered become the ones that matter most.